Hello and welcome to That's Football. It's been a while since I've been on, but here we are talking about the Premier League preview for the weekend and also what is developing into an absolutely fantastic and interesting top four battle. Who is going to win the top four battle? It's a rhetorical question. I can't answer it myself, Mark. It is a rhetorical question. We'll also got a great little offer from Spotto Cash, which we'll be talking about in a minute. Spot the ball. Classic on That's Football. But the top four battle, effectively Manchester City have got this league won. They're at home to Spurs at the weekend, which I think is a fascinating game in itself. Manchester United, some people feel that they have second sewn up. I must admit, as a Manchester United fan, I'm not totally convinced. I think they need Pogba back sooner rather than later, and they need to do some business in January. But at the moment, they have got a bit of a cushion on Arsenal and Spurs. I think it's Arsenal and Liverpool, which is 8 and 7 points, which is quite significant when you get to Christmas. And obviously, then that leaves two spots. If Manchester United and Manchester City have got second and first, I mean, Chelsea could say, well, they're comfortable as well. But Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, two spots. Obviously, Arsenal could do what United did and win the Europa League and get themselves in that way. One of the others could win the Champions League and get themselves in that way. But the reality is, I don't think Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, certainly not Arsenal because you're not in it, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs can win the Champions League. I don't think it's possible at all. So it's going to be a massive battle in relation to the Premier League and who's going to be in the top four. And of course, let's not forget, Burnley are in there at the moment. Of course, Burnley will not be in the top four back in May. I don't want to do a Gary Lineker I'm going to strip thing, but I would do something obscure. There's no way Burnley are going to be in the top four in May. Mike Rollins says City, United, Chelsea, fourth is up for grabs. Yep, probably. And Burnley for sixth, possible, says Sander Sagers, maybe not. And T-Dog Man says title race is not over. Even as a Manchester United fan, I think the title race is well and truly over. Can I just say, if you are new to That's Football, please click the subscribe button. We are perilously close to 20,000 subscribers, which is obviously a significant thing for the channel. But let's have a look at the weekend fixtures, because that's what we're here to do, as well as speak about other things as well. So, first of all, we've got Leicester versus Crystal Palace as the lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. Leicester, much improved. They're climbing the table. They're up to 8th. They're playing like they did when they won the title, hitting teams on the break and defending relatively well. Whereas Crystal Palace are also much improved. They're third from bottom, but they're joint third from bottom with West Brom. Hodgson's got them winning again, and they are definitely improved. Arsenal entertain Newcastle. Arsenal certainly need 3 points, and I think they will get it against Newcastle, who just seem to can't buy a win at the moment. They're dropping, they're in freefall. But Arsenal are in 7th. Talk about freefall. Arsenal are in 7th place with 30 points. They're only 1 point off 4th, to be fair, where Tottenham are, but they are a massive 19 points behind Arsenal and a relatively massive 8 points behind United. But I do think Arsenal will win that. Brighton, Burnley, I mean, would be a bit of a nothing game, but part of me thinks I hope Burnley can win because that will keep them comfortably in the top sort of 6th area. Chelsea, Southampton, you'd expect Chelsea to win that. Stoke versus West Ham, not really bothered. Although Moyes has, you know, who'd have thought West Ham, no goals conceded and 4 points from Chelsea and Arsenal. So Moyes is starting to turn the magic as well. Watford, Huddersfield, obviously not really too. Watford not playing that well. Huddersfield need a win as well. Both terminally mid-table at the moment. And then Man City versus Tottenham, that's an interesting one in itself. Man City have won this title as far as I'm concerned, but Tottenham, probably the last decent team Man City have got to play before the halfway stage where everyone's played everybody. Can Tottenham go and get something against Man City? I personally think Tottenham are the best footballing side in the league with Manchester City. I just think Tottenham have gone through a bad bit of form at the moment. So it'd be interesting, but Man City just look like they're going to keep winning and winning at the moment, and with the home advantage, I'd love to see Spurs beat Man City just for the good of the league, even though I still don't think that's going to make any difference to them winning the title. But I feel Man City will be too strong for that, too strong by half. Let's have a look what people are saying on the live comments before we look at the Sunday fixtures. And we've got... We're going to struggle against West Brom, says Mustafa Gaming. That's a Sunday fixture. West Ham 1-0 over Chelsea, says Fionn Curtin. Yep. Arsenal Fan TV after bad results is entertaining, says Pratak. So Arsenal Fan TV is very entertaining because there's a lot of bad results. And Arsenal ain't getting Champions League, says T-Dog Man. Nothing new there. And Man United, Man City, Chelsea and Spurs for the top 4, says Luis Garcia. Okay, right. Just before we talk about the Sunday fixtures, I'm just going to mention the link in the video description. This is a little promotion. Spotto Cash have linked up with us. It says free spot the ball game. You get 2 free goes at it. Let me get the video up and then you can see how it actually works. So, Spotto Cash is a new online game of Spot the Ball with a guaranteed weekly prize of £10,000. The game is simple. Players look at an image from a football game where the ball has been removed, then select where they think the centre of the ball should be. Growing up, this is what I grew up with. This used to be in all the papers, Spot the Ball. You do your little X's, which you pay for. Every Monday, a panel of football experts analyse the image and use their skill and experience to select where they think the centre of the ball should be. If your spot is closest to the final spot placed by the head judge, you win £10,000, with 10 runners-up pocketing £100 each. The competition runs from Monday to Sunday, with the winners announced on a Monday, and your first 2 spots are free. So the link is in the video description for that. Get yourself signed up through Spotto Cash. Link in the video description. You've got 2 free X's through the through That's Football, not the United Stand. Through That's Football and Spotto Cash. Link in the video description. Free to sign up, and you've got 2 free goes to pick out where the ball is. Classic Spot the Ball. Love it. Absolutely love it. So thanks to Spotto Cash, and have a go at it. For the youngsters out there, you'll be like, spot the what? But for the oldies, Spot the Ball is a classic, and you're gonna enjoy it. Rather have Arsenal in the Champions League than Liverpool, says Brevy Boy. Yeah, I personally... But Liverpool have got the best attack in the Premier League. That's why they couldn't score against West Brom last night. Liverpool are having a funny season, aren't they? I mean, let's talk about Liverpool for a minute. Salah's been fantastic. Mane was very good at one point, although he seems to have gone off the boil a bit after those injuries. Firmino looks like he's great at times. Coutinho, can do wonders, but they have taken 2 points from 2 home games against Everton and West Brom. They are stranded quite far down the league at the moment. I think they're 7 points off United in second place, which would be 18 points off Man City. We're not even halfway through. I mean, Manchester United fans, we've had a bad week after that Manchester derby loss. We're 11 points behind Manchester City, and that in itself is quite embarrassing. But imagine how Spurs fans and Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, you're touching 20 points behind Manchester City. That is atrocious. It is atrocious. Now, regardless of how good Manchester City's season's been, that is atrocious, isn't it? Let's accept it. It's not good enough. And it's going to be as I said, the battle for top 4 is going to be very, very, very interesting. I think the battle for relegation is going to be interesting as well. I mean, going back to the table, at the moment you've got Swansea at the bottom, West Ham, Crystal Palace, West Brom, Newcastle, Stoke, Bournemouth, all separated by 4 points, 7 clubs. And then Brighton, 5 points, 8 clubs. 6 points, 10 clubs. So, it's tight. A couple of bad results and you can be pulled in. Southampton, Huddersfield, Brighton, Bournemouth. I personally think Huddersfield will go down. I think Brighton will go down. And I think maybe Swansea will go down. I think West Ham, Palace, West Brom, Newcastle, they're big clubs that have got, status to go and buy players in January if they need to. So I think 2 of the new boys will go down, Huddersfield and Brighton. Good starts. They've accumulated good amounts of points, but I think once the season starts grinding, they'll start dropping points. And Swansea just don't look good enough. They just don't look good enough. But the battle for top 4, I mean, ultimately it's going to be down to Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal. 6 clubs for 4 spots. And as I said, Man City looks strong. United realistically should get it, and maybe even Chelsea. So I'm very, very interested to see what happens. I think, as I said before, I think Tottenham on their day are one of the best teams in the Premier League with Manchester City and United. I think they've got very, very strong defence. I think Tottenham's defence is up there with United's on their day. And attacking wise, I think Spurs are probably slightly better than United because they've got more options. They've just had a horrific month. They dropped a hell of a lot of points at a time when they were there with United sort of chasing down City around October time. They've just had a bad November. They need to bounce back, and I don't really think they'll be able to do it against Manchester City, if I'm totally honest. Rooney's playing quite well for Everton, says Sebi. Yeah, I mean, good shout out for Rooney. Obviously, the Liverpool penalty at Anfield. He had to score that because he got a lot of stick if he didn't. He is scoring a lot of goals. As a United fan again, Rooney for the last 2 or 3 years at United just wasn't the old Rooney, and I think that sort of top 4 club is not Rooney's standard anymore. I was glad he stayed in the Premier League, and I think at Everton, that's the level he is at now. He's a very, very experienced former world-class player who is now just a very good player. But he's scoring a lot of goals and he's doing well at Everton. I'm pleased for him as well. I'm really pleased for him. I still think that he should put himself forward for the World Cup because his experience would be great. Liverpool fans make me blush, proper cringe, says Ian Murphy. And Chelsea fan James Bowman. I mean, Chelsea have had a bit of a... I mean, one thing I would say about Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool is that they missed a big opportunity at the weekend when Manchester United got beaten by City, because Chelsea is still 3 points behind United. They shouldn't have got beat by West Ham. That 3 points would have put them level. Arsenal, again, they drew. I can't remember who Arsenal drew. Did Arsenal draw at the weekend? I think they did. Southampton, wasn't it? Because they drew with West Ham last night. So they've not scored in 2 games, Arsenal. And then Liverpool drawing with Everton. They should have got... Everton... Definitely, they should have got the win there. I mean, they were all over them. But so that not only have City pulled away, United are sort of pulling away from a lot of the teams in that top 4 battle. And again, as a United fan, massively disappointed by the derby, but really don't want to get pulled into what's behind us because that is a battle. Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs. It's a battle, that is. And as I said, Arsenal probably need to win the Europa League. And Liverpool probably need to win the Champions League because they're the 2 I think will drop out. I think the top 4 will be Spurs, Chelsea, United and City, which means if Liverpool want Champions League football, for all their great attacking talent, which because they are, on their day, they're a good attacking side, but defensively, they're an average League 2 side. They're awful at the back. Arsenal, same old problems. I think everybody's improved. Arsenal are still a decent side, but they've still got that spineless element, and I think everybody else has improved, and that's left Arsenal behind a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I think that apart from first place, the Premier League is a very, very, very interesting league at the moment, and it's just a shame that Man City have made it quite redundant in relation to the Premier League title, but behind it, it is really, really tight in a lot of areas, from bottom to the bottom 10 to everybody except for Man City at the top. Really, really interesting. Really interesting. Chad thinks it'll be point difference for 3rd to 4th. We must win West Brom Leicester games, says it's whiz by. Definitely worry about Burnley. Burnley are a decent team, says Andrew K. Burnley are very, very good defensively. I've got Ward in my fantasy Premier League team, although he's injured now. Arsenal and decent should never be in the same sentence, says Haha Banter. Very, very apt name as well. And the Premier League is a pub league, says Voltage VO. It's not, but the Man City thing is an irritant. It's an irritant because I'm a United fan, but it's an irritant because nobody wants their league to be over in December. And in all fairness, the pub league comment, and I do call certain leagues pub leagues, like Scotland, French league, and the Spanish league a bit. But you've got to... If you give it out, you've got to take it, and the Premier League is a bit of a... It's not a pub league, it's a very competitive league, but it's a very boring league because Manchester City have won it already. Champions League predictions, says Pratic. So Chelsea got Barcelona. Chelsea are going out. United have got Sevilla, which won't be easy, but United should get through because they've got the home leg second. If they do some good business in January and Pogba's fit, they'll get through. Man City have got a bye into the quarterfinals with Basel. Liverpool, I've forgotten who Liverpool have got. Liverpool have got... Remind me who Liverpool have got. I think Liverpool have got some... Portuguese side, isn't it? I think Liverpool will win that. And Spurs Juventus is interesting. Juventus are a very good team. They were in the Champions League final last year. Spurs obviously have done very well in the Champions League, so that's going to be a great tie. And we also... Who is it? Is it PSG, Real Madrid? I think it is. That's going to be a cracker, an absolute cracker. Real Madrid going for 3 Champions Leagues in a row, which is unprecedented. PSG trying to be the new kids on the block. You could almost say the winner of the Champions League will come from that game, because I do think Real Madrid have had a bad start to the season, but I do think they're going to kick on. So, yeah, massive game that. If you're asking me now, it's very early and a lot can change. But PSG have got the second leg, and I think that's key. I've got a funny feeling PSG might knock Real Madrid out. Yeah, yeah. Interesting games. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. We've still not got 20,000 subscribers, but if you are watching this later on, please do subscribe. We're trying to get up to 20,000 subscribers, so click that subscribe button if you're new. We nearly got 100 likes, which is fantastic as well. Thanks for everybody. We've got some new content coming up on the That's Football channel, which is what I wanted to say. We've been doing a little bit with Fan Park Live. That should be going up on the channel on Saturday. If you don't know what that is, it's sort of after-match reaction stuff. Arsenal Fan TV are on it, Chelsea, United Stand. So we're going to incorporate that on our channel, which is a new thing for it. And what we want That's Football to be is just lots and lots of different bits on a generic channel. So get involved with it, subscribe, and don't forget Spotto Cash, link in the video description. Free Spot the Ball game. You'll enjoy that. Have a go at it. You could win £10,000. You could win 100 quid. Lots up for grabs on that. So get involved with it. Spotto Cash, link in the video description. Subscribe to the channel. And I'm sorry there's not been much content on That's Football for a few weeks, but we've been putting some things in place because obviously I do the United Stand, for people who don't know me, Manchester United fan channel. And my time commitments are taken with that a lot. But I am going to start doing more regular content on here. And we've got, like I say, we've got some other content coming up which I think fits in perfectly with what we want That's Football to do. So Sander's still involved. He just needs to sort out what he's going to do with different direction going into the new year. But Sander's still involved. Thanks everyone for watching, and don't forget to have a go on Spotto Cash. Spot the ball. I'd like to win 10 grand for Christmas. Speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.